Hi everyone, welcome back to Polymer Clay TV. I am here today to show you some new products that we're now carrying in the shop because we love them so much and you asked for them. So anyways, what I'm working with today is called punchinella, and basically it's sequin waste. So if you've ever had a sequin dress and they pop out the sequins, this is what's left. So it's a really cool material. It's going to be used as a stencil, so you can use it over and over and over again. It lasts a really long time when you're using it as a stencil. So today I am going to use Pan Pastels, and I've used them on the show before, so you have an idea of how they work, but I'm going to use them a little differently because I'm using it with black clay today because I really want the design to pop. Let me show you this piece here. This is on black clay, as you can see, and I used this stencil, and then I layered Pan Pastels until I got a really interesting, nice look. So let me show you how that's done. Obviously you're going to need some Pan Pastels, and when you're working with black, when I'm working with black, I like to start with white as my base. So I'm going to be working with white for sure, so let me pull the white out. This is the one I used on this piece. So what I'll do is I'll show you this one today. So you want to start by rolling out your clay into a flat sheet, and it can be however thick you want it. It depends on whatever project you're working with. Now, I'm going to show you today with Pan Pastels, but you can use ink, you can use powdered pigments, you can use eyeshadow, anything you have, feel free to try it. Most of the things that impart color onto clay will work with this technique. But I'm going to show you Pan Pastels because I really, really like the look of this. Okay, so what you want to do, there's no right and there's no wrong side to these stencils. You can use either or side, it doesn't matter. So what I like to do is I like to put it on my clay. The clay has already been conditioned and rolled through the pasta machine I did it with the 4th thickest setting, but like I said, you can do whatever you want depending on the project you're working on. So I'm going to roll over it with my rod, and this helps to create like an embossed kind of feel to the clay. I don't know if that's showing up on this piece, but it gives it a really neat embossed look to it. So I'm going to start off with white, and you just need a regular paintbrush. Any paintbrush will do. And with Pan Pastels, a little goes a long way, so you don't need too much, but just enough to dust right over it. And you would do it just like you're doing any stencil. You don't want to have too much of it on the brush because, you don't want to have too much taking a chance of getting underneath the stencil. But if you do roll, that's another thing about rolling your rod over this. It will help it so nothing gets underneath. So I'm just going to do one of the sides here because, lack of time. But I'll go over this one side here so you can see. So I'm starting out and I'm just giving it an entire brush of white Pan Pastel, as you can see. So let me just finish up. So I've just gone and brushed this whole side with the white Pan Pastel. You can blow off any extra if anything's laying on there that you want. And then with this one I used copper in the center. And because I thought it would show up really, really nice and give it a little glimmer. But let's try something different with this one. Let's try using this bright pink. And this is called magenta. And I just want to brush it in the centers because I'm going for multiple looks. And I'm not looking for perfection here. I'm just kind of brushing it into the center of my flower because it's going to become like a focal point in the middle that, of the flower. So I'm just dabbing it. If you use too much, just blow it away. Or if you can, use it on the next flower. And so I'm just doing this all the way across here until I feel like I've gotten everything. Okay, it doesn't look gorgeous right now. But wait. And the thing is, once you use that white as your background color, if you put the colors directly on the black, it would be a more muddier. Let me show you what I'm talking about. For instance, this is the magenta. If I put it directly on the black, you see, it kind of just blends in with the black. Whereas if I put the white base on there, you can actually get a really bright color. So I really like the way that shows up when you do that. So let's try another color around the petal edges, just to kind of give it a little definition. And you could just play with it until, you know, you get a composition you like. You know, use whatever colors you like. And I forgot to mention, you could even use paint. You could use acrylic paint as well. So if you don't have any Pan Pastels and you just want to give this technique a try, use what you have. But I happen to like the look of the Pan Pastels for this particular project. It's a soft look, you know, whereas with paint, you probably wouldn't get as soft a look. You know, this is more of a pastel look. That's hence the name Pan Pastels. Okay, so there's that. I think I missed this guy. And now I could keep layering and layering and layering and adding and until I got it exactly, you know, what I was looking for, you know, based on whatever project I was going to use. But I like to add a little of this, and you can pull in towards the center if you want to, you know, kind of blend your colors. You can wipe it away a little if you do more than you think you want. You can use your finger to smear it. I don't want so bright of a copper. I wanted it more of a, you know, a highlight. So I'm using my finger to kind of blend it. Now, they do have lots of these foam rubber, not brushes, sponges, which you could use, and you could come back and kind of dab here. You could even apply the Pan Pastels with the sponge. So, you know, it's really about experimenting and seeing what you like and what works for you, and going with that, you know. So just play with it. If you wanted to highlight it in another color, you could come back and do that and blend it in. But for now, I think I'm about done, just to give you guys a peek into what it looks like. And then, so usually I'll just blow off whatever's left on there. And then the big reveal. And you just pull back gently. And there you have something that's absolutely freaking beautiful. And very, very, very little effort was involved in that. I mean, how pretty is that? So let's just say if you wanted to make a pendant, you would come back with a cookie cutter, cut out a piece of it, lift this away. And there's a piece that would be great for a dangle earring, to build up a pendant, to add onto a box, anything. The sky's the limit. I mean, once you build it, you can use it for anything you want. How pretty is that? And so little effort. I just love the way it looks. I love the Pan Pastels and how soft it is. I could come around the edges and blend some more colors in there. I could add some little crystals in there. Anything I want to do to jazz it up. But look here, you can also get this embossed look, you know, just by putting it in there and running your rod over it. You see, without any of the color, I've got like an embossed look there. So you could actually leave it black, and now you've got this really cool texture on there as well. Or, like I said, you can use other things such as ink. Let's take this white ink, and you could even dab your ink on there. And now you're getting more of like an old kind of look, and you know, you're now creating more of like a vintage look when you do that. You could come back in with a sponge and model it a little more, anything you want. So there's so many different ways you can use these stencils, and all you got to do to care for them is wash them with soap and water. It's that easy to care for them. They're a mylar. They're flexible. You could even, I was thinking, how cool would a cuff be done like this? That might be another project coming up, so look for that. I was really thinking, oh, that would be nice to have a little cuff bracelet. I mean, and that would be easy enough to do. So have fun with it. The way we're going to have these in the shop is you're going to get a foot of each design. So there's 4 designs. There's this flower, which we used today. There's this flower, which I used here. There's little tiny hearts, which are really cool. And then there's just the plain punchinella, which is little circles. So you get all 4 of these, a foot of each all together. And they'll be in our shop at Polymer Clay TV if you want to check them out. And they're just fun stencils to work with, and there's so many possibilities. So don't forget, we also have Polymer Clay Adventure, the first ever virtual retreat coming up. It starts January 1st, 2015. If you haven't registered, you still have time. In fact, there's still a little less than a month left before it starts. And you can even register all year long, so don't feel like you'll miss out. But if you get in now, then you'll get to get in on all the live events. You won't miss any of those, because we're going to have lots of live events and all kinds of wonderful classes. So check that out at Polymer Clay Adventure. And I'd love to see what you make using this technique, so you can join our community at craftylink.ning.com and upload photos there and share them with us. So thanks so much for joining us, and I will see you next time.